What does manhood mean to you?
Mm, wow. Well, first and foremost, we are not a monolith, as you said, and this is my experience. And manhood to me is the transition to recognizing that your life is not your life. Um, you, as a man, are here as a vessel, to carry out your purpose, like your soul's purpose for being on this planet. Like that is true. But that purpose was given to us by those that walk before us, and the Creator gave it to us before we were here.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men, because frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited and honored to chat with this brother today. Let's see. He's an edutainer. He's a community organizer. He's the founder of an awesome nonprofit in Philadelphia. And in 2013, he briefly died after being shot 6 times. And now he dedicates the second half of his life to spreading love and helping others. His name is Kyle. Kyle the Conductor, Kyle Morris, Kyle just Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
What's up, family? Thank you so much, Val, for having me here today. And I'm grateful for anyone watching at home to be here speaking with you and sharing whatever I could share.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful that you are still walking on this planet. And
Hey.
Kyle, our conversation is yet another chip in the wall, if you will, of the very myopic. I guess we're trying to open up the breach to of the narrow depiction of Black men, stereotypical and very narrow and kind of singularly focused depiction of Black men, particularly in media. And whereas I know that Black men are as myriad as the number of Black men walking on the planet. And so I often say that what we see in the media is not necessarily incorrect. Sometimes and oftentimes it is, but it's most certainly not. It is most certainly incomplete. And so, because ultimately we want a young king who may or may not have positive Black male role models to come to this repository, see the same 6 questions answered by lots and lots and lots of men, hundreds of Black men, and hopefully find guidance there. And then for the rest of us who are neither male or even Black, for us to come to this repository and also find guidance and have our minds opened. And so I'm so glad that you are here to contribute to this repository and to start this conversation off. I'm going to start with question one, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
Mm, wow. Well, first and foremost, we are not a monolith, as you said, and this is my experience. And manhood to me is the transition to recognizing that your life is not your life. Um, you, as a man, are here as a vessel, to carry out your purpose, like your soul's purpose for being on this planet. Like that is true. But that purpose was given to us by those that walk before us, and the Creator gave it to us before we were here, right? Like we decided to come back to this planet and do whatever needed to be done. So when you decide to step into your power and transform, as Brother Oba Sankofa would say, we have a responsibility when we become men, to carry out that purpose, but you're living for the people around you, the people who are not born yet, the people who will benefit from the fruit in which you planted the seed, which eventually became the roots that were strong enough to grow the tree in the first place. So manhood to me is about taking care of your responsibilities. It's about being healthy mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, and otherwise. So that we can be around for those people that we say we care about. because far too often men say, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good," and we don't get certain things checked out, or we have this wall up and we're not vulnerable, or we have these other challenges, and we find ourselves um, having either poor health or poor decisions that lead us down a path where we're not around to be there for the people that we say we're there for. So when you recognize your life is not yours, but it is to be a servant, to carry out your purpose and to do right by the people around you so we can thrive for generations to come as a people. And that's how you fit into society. And that's what manhood is about, in my opinion. My opinion.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And so, Kyle, who and or what is important to you?
My son, my son is like the most important person to me, which means that I need to be the most important person for me, right? Like I need to, as I think about him and how he softens me and how he humbles me and forces me to be patient and loving and kind and intentional and present. He makes me a better man by existing. Like when I found about his existence, I had to, like, I was all about our people and, you know, I was out here protesting or whatever I could do. But when I realized, like, I can't be a martyr, the homie, Chris KP Brown, he had posted something about like black martyrdom and how often like we admire and look up to these people who martyred themselves. And if you ask them, they never wanted to be martyrs. They were fathers, they were wives, they were sisters, they were sons, and you know, they were humans first, right? Like they didn't want to leave. If it was up to them, they live long, healthy, happy lives and get to see the fruit of their labor and see their children and grandchildren and great grands grow up. Um, but when you think about like, at least when I think about what service leadership meant to me, especially in the transition into becoming a man, I'd say, and growing into it not being about me, not being about my company or my job or my this or my that. And it became about community. It became about everyone else. And then it became about, you know, my son, who was, when I found out he existed, was coming, rather, I had to shift how I moved so I could be here for him. Um, and I can be the best version of myself for him. And my wife helped me a lot. And, you know, when we first started dating, like going to therapy and just taking a hard look at who I am and being patient with myself and giving myself grace, allowing myself to set boundaries for others. I didn't know men can really set boundaries outside of physical boundaries, right? So I had a lot of growing that I did when her and I first met, and that helped build the foundation that could support who I am today and who I'm becoming in the future. But my son right now is a person who as Chill Moody said in a song a long time ago, maybe 11 years now, he keeps my eyes from falling. He keeps me focused. Without him, I'd be hopeless. So, yeah, I'd have to say him. It should be me, but it's him.
Got it. Got it. Thank you for that. So, Kyle, how do you want us to see you?
Ooh, I don't even know how I want to see me. I want to be seen as a man who I want to be seen as a soul. Um, in both forms. I want to be seen as a soul, like SOUL, like I am, this is just a vessel and I am the amalgamation of all my decisions, yes, right? But I'm also like all my interests, all my likes, like someone who likes um painting and chilling and building and fixing things around the house, but also like to play Warcraft and also like to grill and I also like to get into debates about politics and life and all of that. I like to help people, but I like to bid on people and crack jokes too. I'm all of these things. I'm multifaceted. Like I'm just a soul here, enjoying this earthly experience as long as I can, and a soul as in a light. Like I want people to see me as a light. Like I hope that when I move into a room as a conductor, I conduct myself in a way that can conduct energy in a room in a certain way, so I can ultimately conduct our people to freedom. And if I can get people to see the light that's within them, that is a reflection of God, and a continuation of the generations before us, then that's me doing my part. So I want people to see me as that light, but also recognize in my dimmest moments, I'm still a soul walking this planet, just trying to navigate this planet, just trying to figure out what to do. And I'm flawed, but I'm full. Um, yeah, hope
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Makes a lot of sense. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. definitely.
So, Kyle, question four is what is your epic dream?
Epic dream. Well, I filled this form out so long ago. I don't remember what I said, but I know now it's having the autonomy. It's me having autonomy, my family having the autonomy, and my community. I think that's important. Where everyone has like we truly love ourselves, right? Because when you truly love yourself, I believe self-love is what prevents people from making a lot of bad decisions. They wouldn't want to harm other people if they love themselves. They wouldn't want to harm their friends and family like unknowingly just because of the things we spew or say or do unintentionally. So if my epic dream is we all love ourselves enough so when we're given the autonomy over ourselves and our time, we all spend it living in purpose and being people who are doing what they need to do. Because at one point, keep it a being vow, at one point, things were getting dark and I just couldn't, Eco Foundation was founded in 2018, but in 2020 we took a turn, started doing a lot of mutual aid. We opened up our community center and 2021 we bought the building. So, I was all in at that point. And I but things were getting dark. Like my mom had cancer. I didn't know that DeQuisha was pregnant yet, but my wife was pregnant yet, but it was like I just wanted to get out of here. Like I wanted to just take my whole family and take everyone and get up out of here. But that's not it, right? Like I'd be fine. I'd be somewhere on an island or another city, another country or whatever, but my people would still be suffering. And I think that's the time where I realized, going back to manhood, right? That's when I realized it's bigger than me. And then when Moses was born, it was like I need to continue to invest in these people around me, right? So my big dream is making sure that the middle schoolers and elementary school kids that we work with and serve are strong. Really, we are just watering the seeds that were planted by the people in their lives, the positive forces in their life. We are not the end all be all. We are not the final say, but I want to make sure that we're doing our part with these young people. So my kid doesn't have to look over his shoulder at the ATM in the future or whatever they're doing with money in the future. Like I just want to make sure his life is good. So my big dream is we're all loving ourselves. We're all living in purpose and we all have the autonomy over our schedules and our lives so we can do what we think is best and have that safety net of community to fall back on as needed, but also have the accountability from them as well. Accountability is the new black. So as long as we're all sharpening each other, we'll cut the competition. That is our lower selves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Thank you. So you've been answering question five all along implicitly, but I'm going to ask you explicitly,
All
Mr.
right.
Kyle, the conductor,
Mhm.
who are you?
Hmm. I am figuring it out. I'm figuring it out day by day. Um, I know I'm an edutainer, someone who educates and entertains, right? I know I'll be the only doctor of edutainment or the first doctor of edutainment in a couple of months. And that's like one thing, right? But I know a servant leader, right? And I know my father, I know my husband, I know I'm a whatever. I know these titles, right? I know these things that I do, but like who am I outside of what I do and what I produce? Um, that again, I guess has to just be that soul, the soul and the soul. That's why I changed my last name, or hyphenated it to soul because that's the family name I wanted to continue and or start, right? And again, I'm just figuring out what that looks like, how I'm moving through space, how I'm building with people, how I'm making sure I learn lessons from the oddest places, like whether it's a conversation in a bar or it's a parking lot or it's Walmart. I've learned a lot of lessons that forced me to look introspectively, um, and really evaluate who I am versus who I say I am, and how I show people things versus how like intention versus impact, right? Like how they feel it. So I'm a man of God that has a human experience, and yeah, You know, all those other things are just wrapped up. They're just titles wrapped up in who I am. Because just like you wear many crowns. You're many things to different people, and someone always wants a piece of you. But when you're just laying there and it's just you and your thoughts, and maybe your phone's off or your lights off or whatever, and you're just looking up and you close your eyes and you haven't quite drifted off yet. Like, who are you in that moment, those moments, right? That's your purest form. And I think this vacation we just got to take for Christmas and Kwanzaa and the New Year really allowed me to just spend a couple weeks of just not doing emails, not doing anything, and just being a father. And I had a couple moments to see what it's like to just be Kyle. So check back in a little later. Get me back on this joint and we can talk about who I become.
I love it. Got it. I'll check back in. But in the meantime, here we are already at question 6, which is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
I don't think there's anything that you haven't asked me that wasn't meant to be asked. I just want to make a statement about, had we had this interview a week ago, a month ago, a week from now, a day from now, in either direction, whatever the directions are, my answers would have been different. And I think it's important. Like when I had a podcast years ago called Keep Your Crown Up, and it was like a daily 4 to 10 minute podcast type John. And whenever I had someone on the show, I asked them what are the last things they consumed, because I believe that whatever they consume recently will show up on the show, on the platform. And so just to share that, I had a few bites of my son's Uncrustable. So I was thinking about him as I came up these steps because he didn't finish it and I wasn't going to waste no food. I was listening to this R&B playlist on YouTube that popped up after like a suggested play. So it was Time's a Wasting, some Erykah Badu song. And the last thing I watched was a kangaroo video with my son, because he didn't know what a kangaroo was. And I'm like, oh, well, let's learn about kangaroos. It was in one of his books. So I think that's why my focus is really like, I've just been at peace today, did a couple emails earlier, 5:30, did all this work. And it's just been a couple hours of that. But so I want you to know that, like, who I am in this moment, my answers at least are shaped heavily on the last things I've consumed and who I've been around. So yeah, maybe you can start asking people what's the last thing they ate or listened to or whatever. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. I love it. That's really great. And I really appreciate your candor and just you just showing up as you, right? In this moment, this is who you are in this moment. And I think that is really beautiful. And I really appreciate your place in the world, especially being intentional about spreading love and helping others. I think that is a beautiful thing. And so I honor you, my king, and I pray that your epic dream absolutely comes true sooner rather than later. And I'm just really glad that you were here today, Kyle. Thank you.
Same, Val. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Keep your crown up.
Thank you, darling. Stay right there because I want to thank the audience for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And if there is a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to hear from and see highlighted in this forum, please click the link below or my bio, fill out the nomination form, and we'll take it from there. I always say success does not equal what someone does for a living, but it really is okay, as long as what they do for a living is legal, it's not hurting anyone. Those two things aside, I don't really care what they do for a living. What I really care about is the content of their character. Are they making an impact in their community? And how are they impacting the people around them, starting with the nuclear family and radiating outward? Those brothers we want to contribute to this repository also. So please stay tuned next week for yet another amazing king. And please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thank you so much. And Kyle, thank you. That was really awesome.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.